Welcome to Healthy Aging Blueprint, your trusted space for simple, effective tips to help seniors live healthier, happier, and more meaningful lives. Whether you're stepping into retirement or supporting a parent or grandparent on their wellness journey, this channel is for you. Together, we'll explore real-life experiences, healthy daily habits, and a positive mindset to help you wake up each day with energy, joy, and purpose. Have you ever felt like something invisible is slowly draining your energy? Like the spark you once had is flickering, almost gone? What if the deep sense of connection you thought was lost forever could quietly return with one simple, natural habit? And what if the answer isn't in a prescription bottle, but in a spoonful of something you already have in your kitchen? At 73, one man believed his best days were behind him. His energy was fading, his hands felt colder, and the emotional closeness in his relationship had grown distant. But everything began to change, not overnight but gradually, when he started using raw honey the right way. That small shift brought new life to his heart, his circulation, and even his sense of intimacy. I'm Dr. James. For over 30 years, I've helped men reignite their strength, energy, and connection. Not through fads or pharmaceuticals, but through nature's quiet wisdom. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to use honey to help boost your circulation, restore your energy, and improve intimacy after 60. Stay with me until the end, because this just might be the turning point in your second act. Before we get started, I'd truly appreciate it if you like this video. It helps us share these powerful lessons with more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button and the bell so you never miss a future video. If you find this video helpful, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, type 0. I always read your feedback so I can improve. Let's begin with something that many people underestimate: why circulation declines after 60 and how it affects your energy and intimacy. I still remember the day Harold walked into my office. He was 71. A quiet, retired school principal. He sat across from me with his hands folded neatly, his posture calm, but his eyes told another story. They carried a heaviness that words struggled to explain. "Doc," he said softly, "I just don't feel like myself anymore. I'm tired, even after I rest. I feel disconnected, like I'm here, but I'm not fully here." His voice was steady, but there was something raw beneath it. That moment wasn't just about Harold. It revealed what so many men over 60 are feeling, but rarely express. That slow erosion of vitality, the quiet loss of physical and emotional presence. Most assume it's just aging. But often, the real root cause is poor circulation, a silent issue that affects far more than most people realize. As we age, particularly past 60, our blood vessels begin to change. These changes are subtle, but powerful. The once flexible vessels start to stiffen. The endothelium, the thin, delicate inner lining of our blood vessels, begins to struggle in producing nitric oxide, a molecule essential for keeping blood flowing smoothly. Think of nitric oxide as a key that unlocks the vessels, allowing blood to move freely to your heart, brain, muscles, and yes, even the parts of the body tied to intimacy. But when that key doesn't work as well anymore, everything slows down. Blood flow gets restricted. Imagine a once free-flowing river now slowed by decades of buildup. That's what happens inside your body. You may start noticing cold hands and feet, like warmth can't reach where it used to. But it's not just your limbs. This affects your energy, focus, and even the emotional and physical closeness with your partner. That sluggishness you feel? It's not just in your limbs. It's the result of circulation slowing down, pulling energy away from your extremities. Your hands may feel cold, your movements less fluid, your stamina drained. It's as if you're pushing through the day with an invisible weight strapped to your back. Meanwhile, your heart works harder behind the scenes, straining to keep up with demands it once met effortlessly. But perhaps the most difficult part of all this isn't physical, it's personal. For many men, the real toll shows up in places harder to talk about. A fading sense of vitality that doesn't just affect your physical performance, but seeps into your mental clarity, your emotional depth, and your ability to connect intimately with your partner. Those quiet, joyful moments, the ones that used to ignite warmth and passion, start to feel flat. Like listening to your favorite song through a wall. You know it's there, but it feels out of reach. And let me be clear, this isn't your fault. It's not about willpower or discipline. It's biology. It's your body sending out a signal, asking for help. Here's the part most men never get to hear. Circulation isn't just about blood flow. It's about your ability to think clearly, move freely, and love fully. It's about being awake in your own skin, feeling alive and grounded in your day, in your body, and in your relationships. When your blood flows properly, everything else starts to click into place. The good news is this: even after 60, the body is incredibly responsive. It's not broken, it's just waiting for the right input, the right signals, to reawaken its natural strength. And that brings us to a question many men would never think to ask. Could something as simple and natural as raw honey really hold the key to restoring that lost spark? What is it about honey that's catching the attention of scientists around the world? And how can this golden substance help you feel sharper, more energized, and more connected than you've felt in years? That's the journey we're stepping into. I'll admit, when I first heard about this, I was skeptical. An elderly farmer I once treated, his skin weathered from decades in the sun, swore by a daily spoonful of raw honey. He claimed it was the secret behind his enduring stamina and clear mind. I nodded politely, but internally, I brushed it off. I'd spent decades in the world of clinical medicine, deeply rooted in data, clinical trials, and hard science. To me, honey was just a sweetener, something you drizzle over oatmeal or stir into your tea. But something about his certainty, combined with a growing wave of scientific research, made me pause. So, I started digging. And what I found completely changed my understanding of what honey really is. Because raw honey isn't just sugar. It's far more complex. A biologically active substance packed with natural compounds that interact with the body in powerful ways. These natural compounds support the body in ways many people never expect. Unlike the processed and filtered honey found in most grocery stores, raw, unfiltered honey retains a wealth of nutrients, enzymes, antioxidants, and bioactive compounds that are typically lost in commercial processing. Within each spoonful are powerful agents like flavonoids, phenolic acids, and trace minerals. Together, they work synergistically to reduce inflammation, protect your cells from oxidative stress, and support overall cardiovascular function. At the core of honey's power is its ability to stimulate nitric oxide production, the very same molecule we discussed earlier, the one that relaxes and opens blood vessels, allowing blood to flow freely and efficiently. That single action has ripple effects across the entire body. Emerging research, including studies published in respected journals like Nutrition Research and Pharmacognosy Reviews, confirms what ancient cultures have known for centuries. These studies show that raw honey can significantly improve endothelial function, reduce arterial stiffness, and promote smoother blood flow. It also contributes to better heart health by helping to lower LDL, commonly known as bad cholesterol, while raising HDL, the good cholesterol. That shift lightens the load on your heart and boosts circulation throughout the body. For men over 60, where natural nitric oxide production begins to decline, this becomes even more important. Raw honey offers a simple, natural way to support blood flow to the brain, improving mental sharpness and focus. It enhances circulation to the muscles, allowing for more sustained physical energy. And just as crucially, it supports blood flow to areas involved in intimacy and emotional connection, helping restore a sense of closeness and confidence that may have felt distant for years. This isn't just modern science validating new ideas. It's a rediscovery of ancient truths. For thousands of years, civilizations around the world have viewed honey as far more than just a sweet treat. In Ayurvedic medicine, honey has long been considered a rejuvenating tonic, used to promote vitality and long life. The ancient Egyptians incorporated it into healing salves, rituals, and internal remedies, valuing its ability to restore and protect. Even Hippocrates, the man often referred to as the father of modern medicine, prescribed honey to treat everything from fatigue and digestive issues to external wounds. These weren't beliefs born from blind tradition. They were rooted in observation, generation after generation witnessing how honey could nourish, energize, and support healing. And when I began recommending raw honey to my own patients, I witnessed those same effects firsthand. Men in their 60s and 70s, many of whom had quietly accepted fatigue or a sense of disconnection as their new normal, began experiencing subtle but meaningful changes. Some came in with a new glow in their skin, as though vitality had returned to their faces. Others, who had long complained of cold hands and feet, noticed warmth returning to their extremities. And more than a few shared something deeply personal, a renewed sense of energy in both their everyday routines and their most intimate moments. Some men spoke about feeling more energized in their morning routines. Others, with a quiet smile, shared how they felt more emotionally available, more present in their relationships. It wasn't a miracle, it was nature, doing what it does best when given the proper conditions to thrive. But there's an important detail that can't be overlooked. Not all honey is created equal, and simply adding a spoonful here and there won't unlock its full benefits. Just like with any powerful natural remedy, there's a method, a rhythm, a ritual. When followed with consistency and intention, it can elevate honey from a simple sweetener to a supportive force for your circulation, energy, and connection. Let's break down exactly how to do this in a way that makes the most of honey's healing potential. If you're still with me and finding these lessons valuable, I'd love to hear from you. Just leave a comment with the number 1 below to let me know you're still watching. It means a lot. Now, let's talk about what I call the 60 method, a natural, intentional way to use honey that supports both circulation and connection. Over the years of working with patients, one thing has become clear: timing and intention matter. You can have the right ingredient, but without the right approach, its effects may fall short. One patient, Carl, comes to mind. He was 66, a gentle soul and a widower still navigating the emotional terrain of loss. Though soft-spoken, he carried a weight that words couldn't quite reach. He described feeling drained most days, disconnected from others, and emotionally foggy. He'd tried vitamins, prescription medications, and the latest supplement trends, but nothing seemed to restore that inner spark. That changed when he began a new practice, what I now refer to as the 60 method. Simple, intentional, and built around the natural power of raw honey, this approach supports blood flow, energy, and a sense of emotional clarity. The method is easy to follow, but surprisingly effective. Start with 1 teaspoon of raw, unfiltered honey, first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach. You can take it straight from the spoon or stir it gently into warm, never hot water. The warmth helps activate the honey's benefits while protecting its enzymes and active compounds. Alternatively, some men prefer to take it about an hour before moments of intimacy for a more focused boost. What to avoid? Taking honey after a large, heavy meal or mixing it with sugary drinks. That can dull its effects and interfere with how your body responds. Then comes the second step, movement. After taking the honey, engage in 10 to 15 minutes of gentle activity. A brisk morning walk, some light stretches, or even slow, mindful yoga. This step is key. It enhances nitric oxide production and helps the honey do its job, promoting better blood flow to your brain, muscles, and other vital areas. And here's where the magic lies: consistency. Make this a daily habit. When done regularly, the body begins to respond more deeply. Over time, it builds momentum, kind of like a well-tuned engine starting to run smoothly again. In Carl's case, the changes didn't happen overnight, but after just 1 week, he began waking up with more clarity. His mind felt sharper. His hands, once cold to the touch, had regained warmth. But what moved him most was something deeper. He said, "When I started dating again, I didn't feel numb. I felt like I was there, really there, with her." The science behind this approach is both simple and powerful. Raw honey, rich in antioxidants and compounds that help boost nitric oxide levels, works most effectively when taken on an empty stomach. That's when the body is most receptive, allowing those active components to enter the bloodstream quickly and efficiently. When paired with light movement, something remarkable happens. Blood flow increases, your heart rate gently rises, and the body becomes more responsive. It's this synergy, the combination of natural nutrition and gentle activation, that sets the tone for better circulation, steady energy, and even a more uplifted mood. Some men like to take it a step further. They might squeeze a bit of fresh lemon juice into their honey water for an extra antioxidant boost, or add a pinch of cayenne pepper to stimulate circulation even more. Those additions can be helpful, but they're not essential. What matters most is the rhythm, the intention, the ritual. It's about beginning your day on purpose, about sending your body a clear, steady message. I'm ready to support you. I'm ready to feel better. This isn't about chasing quick fixes or miracle cures. It's about embracing small, consistent habits that tell your system it's time to wake up, time to move, time to thrive. And when you commit to this daily ritual, something quiet and extraordinary begins to unfold. Your body starts responding, trusting the pattern, syncing with the rhythm you've created. So what does that look like in real life? The stories I've received from men practicing the 60 method are genuinely moving. They don't come with grand announcements or dramatic claims. They arrive quietly, in handwritten letters, thoughtful emails, and heartfelt conversations. These are men from every corner of the country, rediscovering parts of themselves they thought had been lost to time. These aren't overnight transformations. They're personal victories, steady, meaningful, and deeply felt. One story that stands out is from George, age 69. A divorced retiree, George had all but given up on the idea of dating again. When he started the 60 method, he wasn't expecting much. Just a teaspoon of raw honey each morning, followed by a peaceful walk through his neighborhood. That was it. 3 weeks later, he called me. His voice was lighter, more vibrant than I'd ever heard. "I feel more comfortable in my own skin," he told me. He was laughing more, moving with greater ease, and had even joined a local dance class. That's where he met someone, a connection that brought real joy and energy back into his life. For George, it wasn't just about physical energy. It was about reconnecting with who he was, about stepping into the world with confidence, curiosity, and a sense of possibility again. And then there's Ron, a 74-year-old retired firefighter who had spent more than a decade on blood pressure medication. At first, he was skeptical. He wasn't sure something as simple as honey and a walk could make any difference. But after a conversation with his wife, one centered around a desire to feel more alive, he decided to give it a try. 2 months into the routine and under his doctor's close supervision, Ron's circulation had improved enough that his medication dosage was reduced. But for Ron, the most meaningful shift wasn't the change on his medical chart. It was the feeling of being fully present again. "I feel like I can show up for my wife," he said, his voice steady and filled with quiet pride. "Not just physically, but emotionally. I'm really here with her." To someone on the outside, these changes might seem small, easily overlooked. But when you've spent years watching your vitality slip away, waking up to even the smallest restoration feels monumental. It's not just about feeling less cold or having a bit more stamina. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that you thought had faded for good. It's the ability to hold eye contact and feel connected in a conversation. The confidence to laugh without feeling tired. The return of desire, not just in the physical sense, but the desire to engage, to share moments, to be seen and heard as the man you know yourself to be. It's about saying, without apology, I'm still here and I'm not done yet. The 60 method isn't a miracle. It's not a cure-all, and it certainly doesn't replace medical care. It's not about abandoning what your doctor recommends. Instead, it's a commitment to daily, steady support. It's about giving your body what it naturally craves, a chance to heal, to reset, to perform at a level that feels deeply alive. When circulation improves, it doesn't just move blood, it moves life. It clears the fog in your thinking. It deepens your emotional well-being. It strengthens your ability to connect, not only with others, but with yourself. The transformation isn't loud, it's quiet, powerful, and deeply personal. So what does all this mean for you? It means that something as small and accessible as a teaspoon of raw honey, taken with intention, can restore parts of your vitality you thought were gone. It's about presence. It's about showing up again, with clarity, confidence, and care. It's about reconnecting with the people and the moments that make your life meaningful. If you're ready to take that first step, let me know by dropping a number 1 in the comments. Let's keep moving forward, together. If you're still watching and these lessons are resonating with you, please comment the number 3 below. I deeply appreciate your time and presence. One of the most profound conversations I've ever had in all my years as a physician came from a man named Walter. He was 76, with a calm voice, kind eyes, and a quiet strength that spoke volumes without saying much. Sitting across from me in my office, he leaned forward slightly and said, "Doc, I don't miss being young. I don't miss the wild energy or the reckless days. What I miss is feeling close." His words stayed with me long after he left. Walter wasn't talking about physical performance. He wasn't longing for youth in the way commercials often sell it. What he missed was presence, that deeply human experience of being seen, wanted, and alive in a moment shared with someone you love. And what he expressed? I've heard it time and again from men of all backgrounds, all ages past 60. Many of them struggle to find the words. But the feeling is always the same. A quiet ache. The ache of disconnection. Of drifting. Not only from their partners, but sometimes from themselves. This sense of disconnection that so many men feel as they age, it isn't just emotional. And it's not purely psychological either. It's physical. It's rooted in the body, deeply linked to something as essential as blood flow. Emotional intimacy and physical connection aren't two separate systems. They are intertwined at the most fundamental level. When blood doesn't circulate properly, the consequences extend far beyond the physical. Poor circulation doesn't just slow you down. It dulls your senses, clouds your thoughts, and flattens your emotions. And the signs often appear gradually. You may not laugh as easily at a joke. You might feel a bit more distant in conversations, even with someone you love. Maybe you pause before reaching for your partner's hand, unsure if the spark is still there. But those little hesitations, they add up. One quiet moment after another, they slowly chip away at your connection, not just with others, but with yourself. And then, maybe one morning, you look in the mirror and wonder, where did I go? Where's the version of me that felt alive, present, and fully engaged? Here's where the science becomes not just fascinating, but empowering. Healthy blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body, including your brain, your nerves, and all your vital organs. When circulation improves, your brain functions more clearly and efficiently. You think faster. You focus better. Your nerves become more responsive, which means you not only move more easily, but you also feel more tuned in to your environment, your emotions, and the people who matter most to you. Even hormones like testosterone and dopamine begin to rebalance. These are the chemical messengers that regulate mood, motivation, connection, and desire. When they begin to stabilize, something subtle yet powerful happens. You don't just feel sharper, you feel more human, more grounded, more present. You listen more deeply. You notice when someone smiles at you. You hold your partner's gaze a few seconds longer. Maybe you catch yourself smiling at a shared memory. Or maybe, without even thinking, you reach out and take your partner's hand. Not because it's expected, but because in that moment, it just feels right. Whether it's laughter, a gentle touch, or a quiet conversation, it doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be real. This is why, when men tell me about their experience with the 60 method, they talk about far more than just improved circulation or energy. They describe moments of emotional clarity, even spiritual renewal. Some share how they laughed with their spouse over something silly for the first time in years. Others say they finally felt confident enough to initiate closeness, not just physically, but emotionally. And many describe waking up with a sense of calm focus and purpose they hadn't felt in a long time. This isn't about trying to chase the fleeting vigor of youth. It's about reclaiming vitality, that natural, God-given ability to show up in your life with strength, warmth, and presence. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you've always been underneath the fatigue and disconnection. But as we explore these benefits, we also need to be honest. Not every man sees the transformation he hopes for right away. And more often than not, the reason isn't that the method doesn't work. It's because of a few common, easily avoidable mistakes, small missteps that quietly get in the way of progress. So now, let's take a closer look at the common missteps, those subtle yet significant mistakes that can quietly block your progress. Knowing how to sidestep these pitfalls can make all the difference in your journey toward feeling more alive, connected, and energized. When I first introduced the honey method to my patients, I was filled with optimism. In fact, I may have been a little too confident. I genuinely believed that nearly every man would notice a rapid shift, more energy, clearer focus, and a renewed connection with their partner. And for many, that was exactly what happened. They described feeling like themselves again, more vibrant, more present, more alive. But over time, a pattern began to emerge. A handful of men weren't seeing those same results. Their energy levels remained flat, and their sense of vitality hadn't improved. At first I wondered, was something wrong with the method? Had I missed something crucial? But then I dug deeper. I listened closely to their stories, reviewed their habits, and examined their routines. What I discovered surprised me. The method itself wasn't the problem. It was a few simple but easily avoidable mistakes that were quietly working against them. Let's break them down so you can avoid these setbacks and fully unlock the benefits of the honey method right from the start. Mistake number 1: choosing the wrong kind of honey. This is probably the most common error I see. It's easy to grab the nearest bottle labeled pure honey at the grocery store. After all, it looks golden, clean, and trustworthy. But most of those convenient plastic bottles are filled with honey that's been heavily processed, pasteurized, and stripped of its natural properties. Processing removes the very things that make honey therapeutic: its enzymes, antioxidants, and bioactive compounds. Without those, you're basically adding sugar to your routine, not support. What your body truly needs is raw, unfiltered honey, preferably local or organic. This kind of honey retains its natural goodness, including the compounds that boost nitric oxide, the molecule we talked about earlier that helps your blood vessels relax and expand. Without nitric oxide, circulation can't improve the way it's meant to. So how do you know you've found the right kind? Look for honey that appears cloudy or crystallized, not perfectly clear. If possible, source it directly from a trusted beekeeper or a reputable health food store. Ask questions. Know what you're putting into your body. Mistake number 2: poor timing. Here's something many people don't realize. When you take honey matters just as much as what kind you take. Some men assume they can take it any time, after a big meal or right before bed, and still expect it to work its magic. But here's the problem. After a heavy meal, your digestive system is already hard at work. Your body is focused on breaking down food, and the honey's valuable compounds end up getting lost in the shuffle. And taking it too late at night, when your metabolism has naturally slowed, limits absorption even more. The best time? Early morning on an empty stomach, or about an hour before a meaningful moment of connection with your partner. These windows give your body the best chance to absorb and utilize the honey's powerful nutrients, when it can really help support your blood flow, clarity, and energy. Mistake number 3. Overdoing it. When men start seeing results, enthusiasm can turn into overdrive. I've had patients proudly tell me they're taking 2 or even 3 tablespoons of honey a day, thinking they'll get faster, better results. But more isn't always better. In fact, too much honey, even the raw, healthy kind, can spike your blood sugar. That leads to energy crashes, inflammation, and the exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve. The secret here is consistency, not excess. 1 teaspoon each day, taken the right way, is enough to signal your body to awaken its natural healing rhythm. This isn't a sprint, it's a steady path to renewed vitality. A single teaspoon of raw honey each day might seem like a small gesture, but don't underestimate its power. Taken consistently, this modest amount becomes a meaningful signal to your body. It tells your system, gently and persistently, that it's time to wake up, to circulate, to renew. Over time, this intentional act builds momentum. It supports your body's natural ability to improve circulation and restore vitality, without shocking your system or throwing it out of balance. Now, if you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please take a moment to comment the number 4 below. It lets me know that you're engaged, learning, and walking this journey with me, and I truly appreciate your time. Let's move on to mistake number 4, expecting instant results. This is one of the most common traps people fall into. You might try the honey method for 3 or 4 days, not feel any major change, and assume it's just not working. That's completely understandable. We live in a culture obsessed with quick fixes. But this method isn't a magic bullet. It's not a stimulant or a synthetic energy boost. Instead, it's a gentle, natural nudge to your body, helping it repair what's been quietly worn down by years of stress, aging, and neglect. Think of it this way. If it took decades for something to fade, should we really expect it to return overnight? Improving circulation, reigniting vitality, and rebuilding that sense of connection and confidence can take time. For some, the shift comes in a few weeks. For others, it takes a couple of months. But here's the truth. The men who experience the most powerful and lasting transformations are the ones who stick with it. They trust the process, they stay consistent, and they believe in the slow magic of steady change. Now, if you've made any of these mistakes, I want you to know, you're not alone. Most men do. It's a natural part of learning and growing. And the best news? Once you correct those small missteps, the benefits often come quicker than you think. Your body is remarkably responsive when given the right tools and a little time. With this understanding, you're better equipped to move forward, confidently and intentionally. So let's shift focus now and talk about what it looks like to build a simple, sustainable daily ritual. One that doesn't just boost circulation, but lifts your entire sense of well-being. Final thoughts from Dr. James. Over the course of my career, I've had the immense privilege of walking alongside thousands of men as they navigate the later chapters of life. Men in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s. Men who arrived in my office feeling tired, discouraged, and silently wondering if their best days were already behind them. I've seen the heaviness in their eyes, the quiet fear that something essential had slipped away. Maybe it was the energy to fully engage with life, the confidence to connect with others, or the clarity to pursue purpose. These aren't just physical concerns, they're deeply emotional and spiritual. But I've also witnessed something extraordinary. I've seen those same men reclaim their spark, not by chasing after youth, but by reconnecting with their own vitality. And it almost always began with small, meaningful actions. Just like the honey method. There's something undeniably powerful about the moment a man chooses to no longer accept decline as his destiny. It's not a loud declaration, but a quiet, resolute decision. It's when he looks in the mirror and says, "I still want to feel alive. I want to embrace my partner and mean it. I want to wake up with purpose, laugh freely, and feel the blood move through my veins." You don't have to run a marathon, climb a mountain, or transform every aspect of your life. Sometimes, reclaiming your sense of self begins with something as modest as a single teaspoon of raw honey, taken with intention every morning. That small act becomes a message to your body, a daily ritual that whispers, "I'm still here. I'm not done yet." But this journey isn't just about honey. It's about rediscovering your rhythm, reconnecting with your mornings, and moving through each day with renewed awareness. It's about walking outside and actually noticing the air in your lungs, the warmth in your chest, the strength in your steps. It's about reawakening the natural energy that's always been within you, just waiting to be acknowledged again. What moves me most when patients share their experiences are not the numbers on a chart or physical benchmarks. It's the husband who looks me in the eye and says, "I feel like myself again." It's the father who tells me he finally laughed, really laughed, with his children for the first time in years. It's the man who reached for his wife's hand in a quiet moment and felt something real, something present, something alive. The body is incredibly wise. With care, patience, and even the smallest consistent effort, it can heal, rebuild, and respond. You don't have to get it all right, but you do have to start. Start from where you are. Start small. But above all, stay consistent. Science backs this. So do the stories of countless men who've walked this path, and your own body will, in time, show you the truth of it too. Now, as we move toward closing, I want to give you something tangible, a clear, easy-to-follow daily ritual, one that fits naturally into your life and supports not just your circulation, but your confidence, your energy, and your capacity to truly live. Let's begin this new chapter together. One small step, one honest choice, one morning at a time. This small daily ritual has the power to transform far more than just your circulation. What you've learned today goes deeper than blood flow. It's about reclaiming energy, sharpening clarity, strengthening your presence, and reigniting connection. Over time, aging can quietly chip away at these things, making us feel like we're slowly fading from the lives we once lived so fully. But what if a simple, natural act could begin to reverse that? Raw honey, when used with intention, isn't just sweet. It's a tool that gently guides your body back to balance. You've seen how nitric oxide plays a crucial role in circulation, and how that single molecule helps blood vessels relax, sending life where it's needed most. You've also heard from real men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, men who didn't chase youth, but instead made a conscious choice to honor the life they still had. They chose to show up, fully present, day after day. You now understand how progress can be sabotaged by small missteps, using the wrong honey, taking it at the wrong time, or expecting changes overnight. But this isn't about doing more. It's about doing it right. Success lies in creating a rhythm your body can trust. And that begins with one honest step forward. So, how do you bring this to life? Start by choosing the right honey. It should be raw, unfiltered, ideally local or organic. Look for a cloudy texture. This signals that the enzymes and bioactive compounds are still intact. Just 1 teaspoon each morning is enough to send the right message to your body. Next, time it wisely. Take your honey on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning, or about an hour before a moment of connection with your partner. This is when your body is most ready to absorb its benefits. Then, move your body. Go for a short walk. Even 5 to 10 minutes is enough. Let your steps set the tone for the day, syncing your body to movement, breath, and awareness. This simple action magnifies the honey's effects, helping your blood flow more freely and your mind feel more awake. Most importantly, stay consistent. Even on the days when motivation dips or results feel slow, keep showing up, because the quiet power of consistency is what allows transformation to take root and grow. You may not feel an instant change, and that's perfectly okay. Trust the process. Your body is listening, even if the signals are subtle at first. Over time, with consistency and care, it will respond. This daily ritual isn't about chasing perfection. It's about being present. It's about showing up for yourself, for your partner, and for the meaningful life that still lies ahead of you. As you begin, notice the quiet shifts. Maybe you feel just a little more clear-headed in the morning. Perhaps laughter flows a bit more freely, or a quiet moment shared with someone you care about feels a little warmer, a little more real. These are not small things. They are signs that you're returning to yourself, reclaiming your vitality in a way that feels both honest and lasting. Everything you need to begin is already within your reach. And your journey back to connection, clarity, and purpose? It starts not with a grand gesture, but with one small intentional act. In this case, a single teaspoon. Take that step. You're not finished. You're just beginning. As we bring this video to a close, I'd love to hear from you. What did you take away from today's conversation about reclaiming your energy, boosting circulation, or using something as natural as raw honey to feel alive again? Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you'll start applying in your life. Drop it in the comments below, because your story might just be the encouragement someone else needs. And if this video brought you value, please like, share, and subscribe to the Healthy Aging Blueprint channel for more insights to help you live with strength, clarity, and deep connection. Wishing you good health, true happiness, and lasting peace. And remember, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint.